The City of Waukegan is replacing about 20,000 water meters with a new automated meter which provide for an accurate, timely, and reliable reading without having to gain access to customers' properties. The new meters, which will be replaced at no cost to the customers, will be able to identify high water usage and potential leaks. In addition, customers will be able to access their water usage and account information conveniently online. The first thing you need to do is schedule an appointment with Professional Meters, Inc. to have your old meter replaced with a new automated meter reader, AMR for short. Look for a postcard in the mail with the call information or call 866-270-9629. PMI will arrive at your scheduled time to install your meter. They will arrive on a truck or a van with a PMI logo. The PMI installer will have on a shirt or a jacket with a PMI logo and will carry a PMI ID badge. Installers will also wear booties over their work boots to ensure they do not carry dirt, mud, or water into your home or business. The installation process should take less than 30 minutes. The installer will take a photo of the old meter to obtain a record of your final meter reading and the condition of the pipes and fittings. The next step is to turn off your shut-off valves located on your water meter line near the meter. Remove the old meter and install the new AMR meter. The transmitter, which transmits your water usage data to the city, will be placed on a convenient location near the meter. The installer will take a photo of the new meter once it's installed. And that's it. The PMI installer will make sure everything is cleaned up, collect his tools, and head on to the next installation. You may receive a follow-up visit from a PMI manager to ensure your satisfaction with the installation and to make a quality control check of the meter installation. For more information about the automated meter reading installation program, please visit www.waukeganil.gov. If you have any questions regarding the meter installation, contact PMI at 866-270-9629 or the City of Waukegan City Collector at 847-599-2997.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the April 18th, 2016 Waukegan City Council meeting. Bishop Coburn, roll call.
Alderman Newsome.
Present.
Alderman Tempest.
Present.
Alderman May.
Present.
Alderman Valco.
Present.
Alderman Taylor.
Present.
Alderman Cunningham.
Present.
Alderman Seager.
Present.
Alderman Moiseo. Alderman Villalobos.
Present. Please stand for the invocation pledge. Bishop Coburn.
Thank you. Father in heaven, we thank you again for another city council meeting. We thank you tonight, Lord, that our mayor is here, our aldermen are here, the city council corporation council is here, all of our officials is here, and I ask you to give them wisdom and knowledge. Bless our city as a whole. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for
all. Mayor's comments. I met with Joel Williams from PADS and his attorney Friday in an effort to try to resolve some of the issues that's plaguing that site. They gave me a proposal. We read it, responded today. I'm meeting with Joel and the attorney tomorrow morning again, and we're meeting with them and HUD Wednesday in an effort to try to resolve this before it comes to a hearing. The hearing date will be either Friday the 22nd or Tuesday the 26th at 2 p.m. So those two dates we're not sure yet. We'll find out tomorrow morning when if the hearing does come to pass, that's when it'll occur. We talk about, read in the paper about Vet Fest. As of the 16th, the non-refundable $50,000 bond that they put up is now, if something should occur, the city takes that $50,000. They have another $50,000 due as soon as the state of Illinois IDOT signs off on the uses of the AMSUS Expressway. So that's pending. I wish I could tell you what's happening, but unfortunately, because of the confidential agreement, we can't. But I've been to the site. Last month, I went there with 30 men from the VetFest Corporation. We have the schematics of the site, the layout of the site. We know where the stages are going to be. We know where the concessions are going to be. We know where the parking is going to be. We just can't do anything until the sponsor allows them to release the names of the performers. So I'm as impatient as the rest of you are. So please bear with me, and we'll get through this together. Next thing is resolutions, proclamations, presentations. Oh, I'm sorry, minutes. Motion to approve the regular minutes and executive session minutes of April 4th, 2016. Motion by Alderman Cunningham, second by Alderman Taylor. All's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next, resolutions, proclamations, presentation, appointments. Presentation by Waukegan Main Street. Oh, you know what, sir, can you wait a minute? Sure. I've skipped some things that weren't on the agenda. Jerry Walenka, Jerry, are you here? Hi. Jerry has a program that's currently in our Waukegan school system. I went there Friday to watch this gentleman and his group make the presentation in our school system, and I have to tell you, if this program goes throughout the whole Waukegan school system, it is a phenomenal program. Jerry Walenka, tell them what it stands for, STEM.
Okay, I'll do that. Thanks, Mayor. Hi, everyone. So it's always good to deal with good news, and there's nothing small about good news when something really unusual is happening in the school system. The program is called STEM Matrix. We're at 11 schools. We have focused on a certain segment of the elementary school, although we can move in both directions with this program. And the reason we did is that there's something very special that happens in about the 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade, depending upon the child, where there's a new capacity, brain capacity, to deal with more complex learning. And so what we did was we put together a group of really unusual components. Unique probably to Illinois right now is the program that is taking place in your schools that is not only doing a major job of getting your 5th graders hooked on science and STEM learning. STEM, by the way, is an acronym that was created because people saw that every major problem that we deal with often involves combining STEM, technology, engineering, and math in dealing with those together. So we introduced that to children. We have a curriculum. We then take the curriculum and we bring it down to languaging that really makes sense and is driven home. We start with, and I'll just be brief with this, we start with a one-pager so that we're driving literacy through every one of the sessions where reading, understanding, comprehension takes place. There's small team involvement. There's a currency that children receive for doing well, for winning, for bringing good citizenship. This currency then moves with the children as they all wear these really cool t-shirts for all their sessions which say, I'm stemming, and they move towards the competition annually that's taking place here at the Fieldhouse on the 31st. This is a Waukegan Public Schools program. Again, unique to much of what's going on throughout the country, let alone the state. One of the heart piece, or the heart piece of the program, is that we bring in a group of really talented natural university students, college students, and we recruited all the people we have here from College of Lake County. Almost all of them are bilingual, and they come, in most cases, from the very neighborhood that they're coming back to serve. So it's that piece along with a wonderful curriculum that really makes a huge difference in these various program components working together in synergy. We're getting emails from principals, teachers, please, wonderful things are happening, and everything we're doing is complying, last comment, with what's called the Next Generation Science Standards, which is a roadmap that's being presented nationally, but unfortunately there's a gap. There's a gap between the directive, because it's needed to compete in the world marketplace, and the ability of any school system, regardless of its resources, to pull it together quickly enough and to do it effectively. So we happen to have been doing this, and we've been here for the last 5 years, but this year is a whole new step with another. Any questions?
How do you get a hold of him? How do we interact with you?
How did I come into this?
How do they interact with you?
How to contact you.
Sorry?
He wants to know how to contact you.
How does the city council interact with you?
Thank you. Thanks for speaking in the microphone. I appreciate it. I'm sure that I'm reachable through the mayor's office. I'm certainly reachable through another Motley, David Motley. I certainly am available to answer any questions that you have, because something that's going on here is so exciting and unusual that I feel like those guys that were painting the fence, and I'm really just inviting people in to say, come on up, grab a paintbrush, and take ownership of it with me. In no small way, and I met with some of the key people in Lake County, driving the education system with some unique stuff is a magnet for all kinds of wonderful things to come to a municipality. So the answer is I'm easy to get a hold of. Mayor, is it okay if I just say?
Yes, you may.
Okay. Yeah. Any other
Can I just make a comment?
Alderman?
I had the pleasure of being in a classroom at Greenwood School. I'm a substitute teacher in the district, and the day that the CLC student came in, it was lovely because, for one, she took the class for an hour and a half or 2 hours, but it was amazing. The kids really connected with her because it was a young, fresh student, and the reward portion of it, the kids get really competitive. I saw it in action. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
So thank you.
John, when I was in the class Friday, I was so impressed with the teacher of the class, and the enthusiasm of the children and the participation of the children is something I've very seldom seen in the school district.
And one of the things that's taking place, even though this program wasn't designed for it, is that professional development, and the program goes home. The parents are invited into the same challenge. They're stepping up without feeling intimidated to recognize that they can really participate meaningfully in homework, even when the words sound a little foreign at first. And what's happening with the teachers is, without calling it professional development, we're getting emails all the time saying, I'm starting to use a lot of what I'm seeing taking place in a lot of my other work here. So it's really, it's great stuff, and I'm so pleased that the mayor made time to come and have a look, and we have support at this point within the school system at many layers as well.
Yes, she's
Yep.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
Next, Sally Foster, please. Right on time, Sally.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. I'm here for Blue Kids Lake County. You might have seen some of these signs around the county and the community. We have a girl on one side and a boy on the other. It's for April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month. And so this is a county-wide effort to raise awareness and to get the conversation started. Blue Kids Lake County works on awareness, which is our signs and things like that. We have a website and a Facebook page. I'd like to invite you to go to our Facebook page and like it. We're trying to get to 700. And we look at our goals, our core values, I'm a little out of breath, are supporting cherishing children, supporting family, and building strong communities. So if we're going to do that, then we want to do everything possible to prevent child abuse in our community. We're looking at the environment that we put children in so that we have the right safeguards in place. So we're approaching this in more a positive manner where if we cherish children, if we believe in those core values of cherishing children, supporting families, and building strong communities, then we need to do everything possible so that can happen. And so we invite people to purchase a Blue Kid sign. We have bookmarks that have healthy parenting tips on one side. And our Facebook page, we're continually posting different references, articles, and things on supporting parents and on parenting issues so that we can be a positive force within the community that will be supportive of children. And I think that is it.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have an information sheet I'm going to just put down and pass up here for the alderman about our project. Oh, and Mayor, could I just say one more thing?
Yes, you may.
The first thing, this has been about 3 years going, and it keeps getting bigger. Well, for the first time, we're going to do support an education program, and it's on the prevention of sexual child abuse. And this Saturday out at the College of Lake County, we're going to have about 15 local trainers, a number from Waukegan. We have English and Spanish facilitators, and we will be offering that in the community to church groups, to clubs, to PTOs. It's an excellent program, and again, a lot of it is looking at the environment in which we put children so they are safe and we don't have to say how to say no, that it will not be an issue for them. So we're really excited about that, and you'll be hearing more about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sally. Main Street.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. Go right ahead. Go ahead. What a difference a week makes. After having to postpone downtown cleanup on April 9th due to cold temperatures and snow, April 16th was sunny and warmer, so 35 volunteers, including 5 Main Street Board members, spent much of the morning and afternoon hours picking up trash along Genesee Street and Sheridan Road. I'd like to thank Alderman Villalobos for coordinating the volunteer effort, and Dan Olson, owner of Ace Hardware, for donating snacks and supplies. This Sunday, April 24th, is the first of 4 scheduled dates to clean the Amsteads. Marty Wozniak, CPA, and Waukegan Main Street are joining forces to beautify Waukegan. The coordinated effort begins at 10 a.m. at North Shore Printers parking lot at 535 South Sheridan Road. Volunteers will receive gloves, trash bags, and green safety vests, and lunch will be served at 1 o'clock. And finally, as previously mentioned, our next major event is Lunch with the Mayor on Monday, May 9th at Glen Flora Country Club. Get your tickets early. Last year's event sold out. Tickets are now on sale at the Waukegan Main Street office. For more information regarding these events, please call me at 847-623-6650. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Item B, Commonwealth Edison, the smart meter presentation. Carlo?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Alderman. I just real quick, I want to introduce myself. I'm the External Affairs Manager for ComEd. I represent ComEd to the City of Waukegan and City of Waukegan, the Commonwealth Edison. Here tonight to do a presentation about our smart meter deployment that will begin in the coming weeks is Dave Doherty. Dave is one of the directors in our AMI department, which is Advanced Meter Implementation. The smart meter program is part of the legislation that was passed in 2011. We refer to as EMA. It's the Energy Infrastructure Modernization Act. The smart meters are a key principle and piece of that legislation and are going forward. So there's a lot of great benefits that Dave's going to go over. So thank you.
I'd like to thank the mayor and council for having us here tonight to talk about smart meters. It's a very exciting time for ComEd to bring smart meters to Northern Illinois. As Carlo mentioned, in 2011, legislation was passed that requires ComEd to install 4 million meters over our Northern Illinois territory, including Waukegan, where we have approximately 35,000 smart meters, residential, commercial businesses where we'll install the meter. So tonight I really want to talk a little bit about the process that customers will go through and the benefits that they can partake in as a result of the smart meter. So this is a smart meter. What makes it smart is that inside there's electronics as opposed to gears and the dials of an old-fashioned meter. There's a radio inside that allows ComEd to talk to this meter and get information frequently, so several times a day, and when there's an outage. So the meter will also help us do a better job of managing outages in the case where storms come through. Part of the legislation was that we improved reliability, which our customers are already seeing the benefits of this investments that we're making. I'll pass the meter around. So as far as the process goes, about 90 days in advance, customers will receive a bill insert. 60 days ahead of that, they'll get a mailer describing the benefits of the smart meter. And then 30 days in advance of that, a letter will go out. And finally, a week before, we'll have a phone call out to each customer, letting them know that ComEd is coming to install the meter. In Waukegan, we will be having a contractor install the meters. Each contractor will be carrying a photo ID as well as a clearly marked vehicle that they're installing smart meters. It's an important point because we want to work with public safety as we go out and install the meters, make sure that customers are aware and that there is potential. We've seen in other communities where scam artists have gone in and taken prey on ComEd's customers. Our installers will never ask for money. They'll never ask to go inside unless the meter is inside. So if anyone were to approach one of your residents and ask for either money or to go inside, they should promptly call the police. Now with that, the meters themselves bring operational savings of once fully installed, we'll realize over $100 million a year in operational savings that through the law, we pass those savings back to our customers. But more importantly, with the information that the meters gather, it allows customers to partake in or even seek further savings in controlling their energy costs. So they can go online and sign up for energy alerts, which come in the form of a text message or an email letting them know that maybe their usage might be higher than it was the prior month, so they can start to take control of that. We also have a program called Peak Time Savings. What this is during high periods of usage when it's expensive to use electricity for ComEd to procure, we'll actually incent customers through a rebate program to use less. Last year we had close to 70,000 customers signed up for this program, and we rebated nearly $400,000 to those customers. This year we've already got over 150,000 customers signed up for the summer of 2016. So those are really just some of the highlights. With that, I'll open up any questions you might have.
Any questions?
I got one. How do I sign up for that peak time hours?
It's real easy. You can go online and sign up for the peak time savings, or you can call our care center and sign up.
Okay. Because I don't use a lot of my electricity, so rebates are nice.
Yeah. We had one customer actually achieve $30 in one event.
Wonderful.
Take a big chunk off your bill.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have one question, and it's not a nice one, but we might as well get it out here on the table.
Sure.
When the city went out and did the electronic water meters and stuff, I got a couple of phone calls and an email about different interference and different stuff that is susceptible, that makes the individual in the home susceptible to different, and I'm going overboard here, whether it be radiation or whether it's something else. My question to you is here, the same people or different people are going to email me or call me, because on camera here, you said that ComEd is going to be able to talk to these smart meters whenever they want to. And I know Bill Valco's going to get a question if they're able to talk to them. Are they able to adjust my meter so I'm paying more? Is that possible?
No, that's not possible.
Okay.
The meter is very accurate, and that's not a feature of the
Okay,
meter.
so
the
when you're
communication.
talking, sir, about talking, ComEd can talk to the meter, you're just talking about getting information from it?
That's correct. So one of the primary benefits of the meter is reduced manpower for ComEd. So today
Okay.
we send a meter reader out monthly. We have 500 meter readers that read the 4 million meters that we have. One of the large benefits is that reduction in manpower.
Okay.
To read the meters, because we'll be able to read them over the radio.
Okay, something similar to what we did with the water meters.
That's correct.
Okay. But no actual person, because I know I'm going to get called on it, I'm sure the other aldermen are going to get, well, if they're able to talk to them, are they able to fudge the numbers?
No, we're not.
Okay. Just so we had that out on the table to save a lot of complaints. Thank you, sir.
Anyone else? Ann?
Does that mean that when there's a power outage, people won't have to call ComEd because you'll automatically know, and will you send them a text to let them know when they can expect service?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we have integrated the technology, so when the meter loses power, it has enough power in reserve to send out one last message saying, I've lost power. We collect those messages, and today we're opening up tickets in our outage management system automatically based on information we get from that. But we do want to be careful not to tell our customers that we still want to hear from them because they may have additional information. So the meter may have lost power, but they may know if there's a wire down that's causing public safety concern. So we still encourage customers to call and report their outage.
What happens when you have a power bump?
I'm sorry?
A power bump.
A power bump?
Yep.
The meters do register voltage. It's something we haven't fully integrated yet. We're still learning how smart the meters are and how we can further leverage and reduce costs. But we are looking at how we can improve delivery of electricity and the quality of our service by monitoring voltage. And in some cases, we've seen where there's power sag, and we've been able to lift voltage and improve service for those customers.
Thank you.
What's the
Anyone else?
projected start date?
We'll be starting May 23rd, our installs in Waukegan. We plan to complete most of the installs in 2016, probably about 10,000 remaining rolling into 2017.
Have you identified which section of the city you're going to start at first?
We do. I'm not that familiar with Waukegan to actually explain where, but we have some maps we provide Carla that we could share to
Could you please?
on the rollout plan.
'Cause I think as Alderman Valco pointed out, questions are going to be coming, and typically they think the city does everything, so it'd be nice to know what section is going to start and things like that. And will there, I don't know if I heard it all, will there be a resource person to go to in the event some other detailed questions come up that you guys are going to send out or be available? Customer service number, other?
So included in the pre-mailings that come out is a phone number for our dedicated care center with CSRs that are trained specifically around how to answer questions around the smart meter, answer concerns, and make appointments if necessary.
And that's going to be one number for everybody, right?
One
call
number for
center
everybody.
That call center wouldn't be in Waukegan now, would it? I'm just-
What happens if the call center loses power?
Nah, they won't lose power.
We have generator backup, but
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Because of all the controversy with pads, I've decided to form a homeless task force. I've asked two people to chair that task force. One is John Fallon and Brenda O'Connell. I asked John to make a presentation tonight. John, please.
Hi, my name is John Fallon. I've been in Waukegan since 1997. I have been a resident about 2.5 blocks from the current pad site. I'm not a person who's going to say pads should be shut down or anything else. I am going to ask that the council becomes more knowledgeable about homeless services and looks for long-term solutions rather than short-term solutions. I work for an organization called Corporation for Supportive Housing, now just CSH. It's a national organization. I'll give you some information about that, and you can send it across, please.
Yeah.
You'll get 3 sets of documents. One will describe who CSH is. It's a national organization. It's in 14 states. It's been around for 25 years and does work for county and state and at the national level, and has been really involved in trying to end veterans' homelessness across the country and other things like that. We basically were formed to try to end chronic homelessness, and newsflash, the way that you end homelessness is to get people housing. And so the national approach is something called Housing First, which is don't wait for someone to get better to get them into housing. Rather, you get them into housing and provide the services. Waukegan is service rich. It is a place that has affordable housing, whether you like it or not. The rents are less pricey than other parts of Lake County. You can work together as a council with the county and with healthcare in order to get more Medicaid federal dollars to bring to the city of Waukegan. You can bring more national money for housing to make sure that the rents that you receive are sufficient for our major area through subsidies. Subsidies have a bad name. I can tell you and invite anyone to attend our Supportive Housing Academy, which is 3 days of training in order to learn how to make sure that affordable housing is something that's really of good quality, it's designed for the long run, and is a credit to the community. In the larger packet, you have information about my history. You have my biography. I've been living here for a long time. I speak all over the country. I appreciate the mayor allowing me to speak, and I would like to make sure Lake County does not get the kind of money that equivalent areas get for homeless services, because too much money is spent on homeless services and not enough money on housing services. We need to work on housing, and you need to identify those individuals. And so how do you do that? I'm going to show a quick movie. It's an old movie, but I think it's one of the best in terms of describing the approach.
Housing, I guess.
My computer went to sleep, sorry.
My thing is, people take advantage of that so much. No, they do.
Extraordinarily powerful. I was particularly struck by a young woman that I met who was 25 years old, and she could have been my niece. She was 25 and sleeping on an embankment next to the 101 freeway.
I don't think I'm sad right now. I think I'm just angry. Like, I'm really upset at the way that Clifford has been treated and all the different structures that have failed him, you know, like just fallen right through the cracks.
100,000 Homes campaign is a grassroots movement to bring together communities across the country to find housing for the very most vulnerable homeless people in their streets and shelters over the next 3 years. The Vulnerability Index is a survey that's administered to people who are sleeping outside or in the shelters. It takes about 10 minutes, and it finds out how long they've been out there, what health conditions they have that are associated in the research with a high mortality risk. We get their name, date of birth, social security number, and their picture. It takes homelessness from being this abstract, seemingly unsolvable problem to names and pictures and health conditions. 20 communities in the last 2 years used the Vulnerability Index to prioritize housing for the most vulnerable people that they found. And what they did in 1 week, on Monday, we bring together about 100 volunteers, and it takes about 2 hours. We teach them how to do the surveys. And then on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings, these volunteers canvass the streets from 4 to 6 in the morning. So we get them just as they're getting up. We ask them if they want to do the survey. Usually about 90% of the people we talk to agree to do the survey. When you take what seem like a whole bunch of people on the streets, and you go out and you get their names and their pictures and their health conditions, and you break it down to these smaller chunks of veterans, seniors, frequent users of the hospitals, especially medically fragile youth, it actually is a much more solvable problem in that way. And then communities have taken that information and advocated for the system's change so they can get people housed as quickly as possible. What we just started learning really by listening to what other communities were doing was that once the community had this data in person-specific, rank-ordered by life or death, they started changing their systems. They knew that the status quo, the way that they were doing business, was going to result in those people being on the streets forever or being dead. Again and again, we find that there's people who really want to do something to solve homelessness, and they just don't know what to do. And your local campaign team is an opportunity to bring all those people to the table and give them something productive to do that literally results in knowing who your most vulnerable neighbors are and helping them get into housing and keep that housing. This is a team effort. There's no way we can house the 100,000 most vulnerable people in this country without everybody being part of this team. We want to share the tools with you. We want to connect you with other people that are doing the same thing. All you need to do is go to our website, www.100khomes.org, connect, join, and be part of this movement. It's going to be pretty exciting. I think we're going to fundamentally alter forever the way that this country responds to street homelessness.
So the 100,000 Homes campaign is over. We managed to house somewhere north of 130,000 people across the country and got them into permanent housing, not transitional housing, by focusing on the highest need utilizers. This is not attracting people. This is finding who's been a long-term resident in the community. The first data point you look at is how long has someone been staying in the shelter. Shelter really came about as something primarily in the 1980s, although we've had shelters for 100 years, but primarily in the 1980s when we cut back on affordable housing. If, in fact, each council member works together with community development, with the police, with Erie Health Center, Lake County Mental Health, to get Medicaid dollars, you can get people off the streets for good, long-term residents. HUD's long-term goal is to say that no one should be in the shelter for more than 30 days. That won't be the data point we have now because there's no place for people to go. But Brenda O'Connell, I work with all the continuums across the state. She's actually a standout. You're fortunate to have her as a part of the community in terms of her knowledge of HUD policy and how to make things happen, but she needs partnership. She needs aldermen who understand what NIMBY is, not in my backyard, and how to make sure that we house long-term Waukeganites in the local community with the support so they're not bad neighbors. That's the goal of the modern approach of how you deal with homelessness, is not to cluster large numbers of people together, but rather to quickly assess whether they need long-term supports or do they need a short-term housing until they can get somewhere else through something that's called rapid rehousing. HUD's been asking for that. The city of Aurora, we're doing work there now. I'm the lead consultant in that job, actually. working at trying to find those longest-term Aurora residents and get them into housing so that they're not continually arrested and go to the hospital. We've worked in cities all across the state. I've done training here for Lake County 3 years ago. I did work with the criminal justice mental health group here, but it has not been the case that all the partners have worked together. I welcome a chance to work with the mayor if you do decide to appoint a homeless task force at understanding what the long-term resources are, and I hope that each alderman will learn about their responsibility, actually, to make sure that the most vulnerable people. There is a tool called the Vulnerability Index. It tells us who's going to die within the next year on the streets. It's kind of a sad tool, but it's been empirically validated, and we need to get those folks into housing and focus on those. And when you begin to house people who are involved in long-term housing, you will begin to see less people on the street. City of Evanston, I was involved in the City of Evanston in 1983 when they founded their shelter. And everyone was convinced it was going to bring lots and lots of people from Chicago into Evanston. They're now thinking of closing their emergency shelter, the last CEO, because they don't need it. They're focused on getting people housed, long-term or short-term, and that's what Lake County needs to do. That's what needs to happen in DuPage. That I'm finished, if that's okay, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you so much.
Your Honor, I guess I'm a little confused. So are the program that you have, it sounds like it's counter to what the Lake County PADS program is. Do you work with PADS, sir?
I am very interested in homeless services, and there's a process called the Continuum of Care where you make decisions about where money goes.
Okay.
Lake County, relative to other counties, has spent more money than the national average on short-term emergency housing and not enough on long-term housing. And so, as a continuum, you need to decide where that money's going to go and what it's going to do. But we know that if a person's been there for 3 years, it's no longer an emergency. And so you actually should figure out where a person should be housed and get them into that. That's what HUD's been saying since 1990. And it's been a slow process, and it's lots of stops and fits as people like how we currently deal with housing. But it could be dealt with differently, but it's a process. So there's no reason to change the current system, but you need to set some long-term goals about housing those long-term homeless individuals, and it's going to require some tough choices by each of the partners to explain and do the community education as I'm trying to do now.
Okay, so it sounds like you're promoting more affordable housing in Waukegan or throughout Lake County versus the effects or the services that PADS provide. Is that safe to say?
PADS can transform, as has many PADS throughout the area. West Suburban PADS has changed dramatically. DuPage County PADS has changed dramatically. Other PADS programs, which were originally named after the pad people sleep on, have changed their process in terms of the kind of services they offer. It's important in this state that you also make sure that you get a federal match, so that requires Medicaid. So there's a variety of different things you have to do. So I'm not opposed to PADS. You need to have PADS probably right now because that's what we have funded. I'm suggesting long-term you begin to shift your funding in the council and the city and the housing authorities. You have 3 in this area. Begin to look at creating long-term housing solutions rather than banning people from those places or only taking the best people. You take the highest needs people. PADS does not necessarily have to provide those services. You can provide stronger services when you get a Medicaid match, or PADS can adapt to that. But that's the long-term process, is less shelter, more housing, less homeless services, more focus on assessment, coordinated outreach, and movement towards long-term housing. And affordable housing, if there was even a hint of how terrible, it's not. If affordable housing is done correctly, It's done much better than what once was the Karcher Hotel was done now. It's done with the same kind of funding, except they'll fund and do all of that stuff internally. And that may not be the best location, but I will be in favor of funding and getting people off the streets who've been on the streets for 10 years. I will be in favor of funding being focused on those people who need it the most. And with that, the city of Waukegan and Lake County will get the kind of assistance that the federal government is offering. It's about integrated health care and affordable housing. So it's not just affordable housing. People don't do well without the supports. You need both. And they need to work together. That's supportive housing.
And I do agree with you on that, but I guess from a standpoint as an alderman, because you mentioned aldermen earlier being partners and being more educated on this issue, I would be cautious that if we started providing that in Waukegan, then just as some of the resources that we have, then those throughout the county then will come to Waukegan, and then that means we will need to provide those housing. And not saying that we don't. I think we do an awesome job with that, with the services that we have from our own community development block grant money, which is from HUD, and then from the county.
There are better ways to spend the CDBG.
And I agree. I'm not disagreeing with you, sir. I guess the point I'm trying to make is making sure that we don't become the focus group in the county, particularly the state, for all low to moderate income people who need services. So that's why I'm trying to be clear on exactly what you're promoting. If you're promoting, yes, do we need those to not be in temporary housing? And it sounds, I shouldn't say temporary. Those who need the shelter but long-term housing, yes, that's a great idea. But does it need to be focused in on Waukegan only? Is this a county project you're talking about, or just specifically to Waukegan? That's why I just want to make sure I'm clear on exactly what you're promoting.
Alderman,
I'm not going to promote anything. I'm going to actually, I'm willing to answer that.
Alderman, when I called Mr. Fallon in, as a matter of fact, I got Mr. Fallon's name from Alderman Moiseo. I called Mr. Fallon in, and we talked for about an hour, hour and a half. I thought some of his concepts were good. Yeah. I thought that that you deserved an opportunity to listen to what he had to say.
Okay.
And the option is basically ours to choose. I don't know where this is going to go, but I can tell you this. Something has to change. Something in this community has to change. Mm-hmm. If it's moving from a PAD facility to homing the homeless, so be it. But that's going to be something the task force will talk about and see which direction they think would serve our community the best. Now, I don't know what you're saying about county or Waukegan, but I can say this. It's time we stop doing the same thing over and over. When I was a policeman 40 years ago, we did the same thing we're doing now, and nothing's changed.
And Mayor, I agree with you, but I guess if we're going to form a task force, and I love the innovation that you have, but that task force has to include just more than 2 people. Who is going to be on this task force? And the reason I'm really talking, because the gentleman...
That's up to, we'll decide who that's going to be.
Well, he kept saying the alderman, like it's the alderman's decision. That's why I'm trying to get a better understanding, where he's going with it. And it sounds great, but I just don't have enough knowledge. So this task force that's being assembled, will it be this gentleman here plus 2 aldermen, this gentleman plus Pads?
Alderman, you know what? I don't know, because this is new to me as well.
Okay.
But I can tell all you aldermen this. I will guarantee you, I will email you when I find any information available. I don't know. Mr. Fallon and Ms. O'Connor will sit with me, discuss the issues, look at the possibilities, and if you aldermen are interested in putting someone on the committee, that's fine with me.
Okay, Ms. O'Connell, can you please stand? I'm sorry. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I'm sorry if you were with your leg or something's hurting. Thank you. All right, that's all, Your Honor. It's kind of new, that's all.
Thank you.
And thank you for bringing it up and answering your questions, sir. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Can I just,
yes, sir.
I do want to address one thing, though. Evanston had the same fear back in 1983. It turns out there's a limited number of people who are long-term homeless, and as you begin to house them, it goes down. City of Houston has effectively ended homelessness for chronic homelessness. So it's possible to do in any size, city and county, and it's a regional approach.
Thank you, sir. Next, committee reports, Public Works Committee, Alderman Newsom.
Thank you, Your Honor. Public Works Committee met this evening, 3 items. Item A, authorize the proper city officials to enter into a contract with Peter Baker and Sons Company of Lake Bluff, Illinois, for the 2016 road maintenance contract in an amount not to exceed $8,280,000. Funds for this contract are available using bond proceeds for the amount of $8,130,000 and $150,000 from line item 555-916-027-692, pending bond financing and passage of the appropriation ordinance, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Moiseo. Roll call, please, Madam
Your
Clerk.
Honor.
Go ahead, Alderman.
Your Honor, I took a look at that map. One, I wish I would have had a copy of that a little bit earlier than tonight. I really, 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 really wish I would have had a copy of that earlier. I did speak with the director, and I spoke with a couple of aldermen, and I'm voting yes for it. But I'm here to tell you, Your Honor, looking at the map, looking at the dollar amount, we need some more money, Your Honor. We need some more money in there. I've been here 17 years. 17 years. I can tell you what street in my ward has not been done in 17 years. Now, I'm not... It's disappointing. We need more money. There's money out there. We need some more money in there. I'm here to tell you we need some more money. We got money someplace to find this. We need more monies on these streets. Our residents they're gonna beat us up, these aldermen up. A quarter of a mile, a quarter of a block. They're gonna beat us up. It is hard to explain to residents on these side streets and some of the major arteries within the wards that don't get done. I got 17 years. I can tell you right now, Lincoln, all the way Helmholtz, it haven't been done.
Yeah.
And I'm not blaming you or anyone else. I'm just telling you, it's hard to look at that map and look at the dollars and look at the bond we put, and those individuals telling us that our property tax dollars are paid for this, and they don't see no reward after. It's hard. It's hard to go back into these wards and talk to homeowners about that. There's one thing that they expect from aldermen is streets, sidewalks, and garbage. They expect that. They want it. They don't care whatever goes down. That's what they need. It's hard looking at that. I'm telling you it's hard.
Alderman, I don't disagree with you, and when I talked to the Public Works Director, I told him that I wanted him to do the streets by need. What streets needed immediate attention, because as you probably well know, a lot of those streets were at the base where it would cost us triple amount of dollars to repair that street because the whole road failed. I asked him to look at that. I asked him to evaluate what we accomplished last year. The streets were done last year. There were several done in your ward last year.
No, don't tell that. It's only one.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to get in a debate with you.
I know.
But I can tell you this. He looked at last year's streets, and next year we'll do another segment of that. But I can tell you, this whole thing was based on need. And I wish, too, that I didn't have to bond this much money to do this. But unfortunately, we had to bond this money. And when Ms. Migelski went out for the bonds, we took that 0.25%. And the money, I wanted $12 million for the roads this year. I wanted $12 million next year. Unfortunately, the bonding didn't come to that point. It came to, Tina, was it $7.5 million? $7.5 million, and we had $800,000 left over from last year, which we're going to use this year. So I understand your frustration. You know, I wish I could tell all you aldermen, I'll repair all your streets, I'll repair all your sidewalks, and I'll pick up your garbage every day. Unfortunately, financially, I'm not in that position. So, okay. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest. Alderman May. Alderman Valco. Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Cunningham. Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Item B, authorize the proper city officials to award the 2016 water treatment plant sludge dewatering and enter into a contract with P&H Senesac Incorporated of Milton, VT, for an amount not to exceed $158,000. Funds for this contract are available in line item 555-915-724426, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Newsome, second by Alderman Moiseo. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest. Alderman May.
I agree.
Alderman Valco. Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Cunningham.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Item C, authorize the proper city officials to draft specifications and advertise for bids for the repair of low lift pumps number 6 and number 8, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Newsome, second by Alderman Moiseo. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest. Alderman May. Alderman Valco. Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Cunningham. Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
That's all, Your Honor.
Thank you, Alderman Newsome. There is no old business. There are no reports or communications. New business. Item A, approval of payroll dated April 15th, 2016 in the amount of $1,422,357.18. Civil Service Commission dated April 15th, 2016 in the amount of $4,750. And Local 150 comp time buyback dated April 15th, 2016 in the amount of $1,089.68. Motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Newsome. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest. Alderman May. Alderman Valco. Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Cunningham. Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Item B, approval of bills dated April 18th, 2016 in the amount of $1,119,730.03. Motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Newsome. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest. Alderman May. Alderman Valco. Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Cunningham. Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Item C, adopt as presented the annual appropriation ordinance for the fiscal year May 1, 2016 through April 30th, 2017. Motion by Alderman Valco, seconded by Alderman Newsome. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
If I may make a comment?
Yes, sir. Alderman Tempest.
I'd just like to make a comment. Going back many, many years ago,
Yes.
we used to have appropriation orders. We went line item by line item. Saw what we did last year, what we want this year, what we may be adding new. To me, that was a very informative way to do it. It was a long process. It was a public meeting. Everybody could see what the new, what we want to do new, what we spent last year, what we wanted the next year. I just think, I know it was very time-consuming, it really was, but I just thought it had a better input of what we were really doing. Now we have an appropriation, we review it, you were very good, Tina was very good at going through with the different items, so I'm sure the aldermen all know, and she was very patient with us, but I just think the public meeting, what we actually, what it was last year, what it cost us to do more this year, and where you try to cut and so forth, was much more informative to the public. I guess they could go online now and get it if they so wish, but I would like sometime in a year or two from now, we go back to the old way of doing it. That's just my old-fashioned way.
Yeah, I understand.
Thank you, Mayor.
Ladies and gentlemen, before this appropriation came before the council tonight, myself and our finance director, Tina Smigelski, had meetings with every one of the aldermen. We went over the budget almost line item by line item, not to the degree that Alderman Tempest would say, but we discussed this at great detail with every alderman here. We had a special finance committee meeting, last council meeting, to address any issues or any concerns that any of the aldermen may have, so they could vet their concerns or issues. So we are now to the point where we're asking the city council to approve the appropriation as presented after every one of them has seen it, digested it, and had plenty and ample opportunity to address any issues or concerns they may have.
Yes.
So, that being said, roll call, please, Madam
Your
Clerk.
Honor, there was one. I noticed that the library, according to the original, they had asked for another $200,000.
No, they got the same amount as last year.
No.
Tina?
It says original and revised.
Was it revised, Tina?
Their appropriation was increased on the revenue side as well as the expenditure side by that amount. I believe it's related to grant revenue. It has no impact or bearing on their tax levy specifically.
Okay.
Yeah, we held it flat. I have to tell you, Richard Lee was in my office, and Richard, you almost cried, didn't you? And I told him I could not give him any more money out of the taxes. He understood. So that's why when you brought that question up, I knew that I did not allow any more to the library this year. Any other questions, sir?
So the library board is not getting more money, that we're just kind of breaking even with them from...
They're not getting more money from the city. Attached to the appropriation, the document that I sent out on April 16th, I took the original, what the library had provided originally before their board had voted, and then what their board had adopted on, let me see, their board adopted their proposal, or their appropriation on the 16th, and you can see the changes specifically by line item. Their intergovernmental revenue increased by $73,000, and then fundraising dollars were increased by $99,000. So none of that is additional funding coming from the city's coffers.
Oh, you just gave them that money that they went out and got
Right.
themselves? Okay,
Right.
sounds good.
Anyone else have any questions? If not, roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Yes, aye.
Alderman May. Alderman Velco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Cunningham.
Aye.
Alderman Ziegert.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Item D is not necessary since we passed the appropriations. Item E, accept and place on file the monthly treasury report for the month of March 2016. Motion by Alderman Villalobos, second by Alderman Seager. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? John, do you have anything to say?
No, sir, it should have been in the packet, and I passed out each one to each one of the aldermen.
Thank you, sir. Item F, approval of raffle sales applications for American Cancer Society and Greenwood Elementary. Motion by Alderman Taylor, second by Alderman May. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There are no ordinances, resolutions. Audience time, Madam Clerk.
Jack Dye, please.
Jack Dye, 235 Gillette. I'm here to talk to the City Council and local residents about an upcoming Neighborhood Watch Group meeting. This idea was born from conversations I had with neighbors and friends who had learned of recent criminal activity in their homes and did not know where to get information, what to do the best to protect themselves and their property, or where to turn to if they had non-emergency concerns. I organized a meeting with the help of the neighborhood policing unit, along with a local church who agreed to allow us space to have the meeting. The meeting is designed to do four things. First of all, formally introduce the recently renewed neighborhood policing unit program and the area's assigned officer to its residents. Two, allow the opportunity for the MPU officer to inform the residents as to what has been going on in the area, what to watch for, and how to best prevent things being a target, and what to do if you see a crime or suspected criminal activity. The third thing is to provide an opportunity for existing neighborhood watch groups to network and communicate with each other. The fourth thing that this meeting is designed to do is to educate residents as to how to form a group on their block. including the process, the structure, frequency, and what needs to be reported to the NPU officer. What needs to be reported to the NPU officer. Unfortunately, the Neighborhood Watch Group meeting in the 6th Ward was originally scheduled for Friday, the 22nd, this Friday. It's been delayed due to unforeseen circumstances. While that's an unfortunate delay, it's a great opportunity for Waukegan to get further involved and have further support. I feel that this type of meeting should happen in every ward and area of the city, and ask every one of you aldermen to strongly consider doing so in your wards. It provides a platform for the residents to be introduced to their NPU officer, to become well informed of what's going on in their neighborhood, and further increase the communication between the residents, police, and their aldermen. I feel this is the best way to attract the highest number of residents and make the NPU's job just a little bit easier. Once details are being made about the revised date and time and location, I'll inform the couple dozen of people that had already responded for the one that we had to cancel. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Brenda O'Connell.
Good evening. My name is Brenda O'Connell, and I'm the Homeless Continuum of Care Program Coordinator for Lake County. I'm glad to have a chance to speak today, if only for a few minutes, about the homeless service system in Waukegan and Lake County. I hope to use the next minute or two to talk about the bigger picture of the situation at the PADS location at 1800 Grand Avenue. Homeless services is a system, and ending homelessness is a team effort that requires many services to work together, many different housing and service models. PADS serves as an important role in the system as the front door. People experiencing homelessness in Lake County come with diverse service needs and varied barriers to housing and all kinds of different circumstances. PADS is the primary coordinated entry site where staff assess those needs and connect people to the services needed to end their experience with homelessness. PADS is the primary referral agency for 246 beds of permanent supportive housing, 186 beds of transitional housing, and approximately 35 units of rapid rehousing assistance throughout the county. The system of coordinated entry, where PADS plays this crucial role, is a requirement of $2.5 million of homeless service funding that comes and funds 23 projects in 9 agencies. I'm here today to offer the time and expertise of Lake County's community development staff who are knowledgeable on best practices, homeless policy, and solutions to homelessness. We want to work towards solutions that address community concerns and end homelessness and continue to support the success that we're making on chronic and veterans homelessness, ending both of those in Lake County. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. O'Connell. Kelif Howard. Kelif Howard.
Come over here.
Today National Poetry Month is read, write, recite, never give up the good fight.
Say it again. Say it again so they can hear. National Poetry Month.
Today on National Poetry Month, read, write, recite, never give up a good fight.
All right. Good job. Just letting you know this is National Poetry Month. He said read, write, recite, never give up the good fight. All right. Next.
Well, good morning, everybody.
Not good evening.
Yes. So, yeah. So last time we were here, you guys said that you were gonna pay for the body cameras for the police. This month, are you?
The body cameras will be put on the police officers, Chief, next month, correct? We have 146 body cameras. Every Waukegan police officer will be issued a body camera. Next month, they will be on the bodies of our officers, and I can tell you, things in Waukegan will change drastically when that happens.
Thank you.
All right.
Hold up, wait on. Good, we appreciate that, because as we said before, body cameras are, well, it's, yeah, I'm on the list next.
Is that was Derek?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. So now it's Mr. Blank.
We appreciate that because we know that cameras and transparency is not only good for the community, it's also good for the police officers as well. So appreciate you responding to his request. And as you know, he came before you last month, or well, actually in the wintertime. And speaking of which, you know, I was going to, as the young man here said earlier, Khalif, this is National Poetry Month. And I was going to do something, but I was going to share a little bit in the spoken word, but right now there's something more pressing that needs to be addressed, and when we're talking about the issue of homelessness. And truly, the issue with pads, as it were brought to your attention, Mayor, without a doubt, there was some, without a doubt, it needed to be addressed. However, I must be quick to say I just didn't agree with the approach and the process and the way it was handled, because I felt like it was more of a knee-jerk reaction at election time and how it was handled, opposed to going in with some compassion for those homeless people, maybe giving them time, or either going in there within the pads itself, you're their mayor, and say, look, you guys, you got maybe a couple of days to get yourselves together, find you some residents, because this would no longer be as we now know it as pads. But, you know, to go in without any warning, to kick everybody out, those who wasn't aware, I think, you know, it could have been handled differently, without a doubt. And I say that also in respect to, when I think of homelessness, I can't help but to think of Mr. Brumfield, Arthur Brumfield. And that's one of the reasons why I said I can't vote for anybody that's been in this, been in the Waukegan government for more than 10 years. I mean, that, you know, I got a lot of respect for Mr. Brumfield. That is another situation which needs to be addressed, but once again, you took the wrong approach. Instead of helping the man, you made him homeless. You tore his home down. You know, that should have been handled differently. So I'm willing to work with anybody, this man or whoever, if we're talking about, as you mentioned, you said, making the homeless, how did you put it, housing the homeless. And if we're considering housing the homeless, I can't think of a better person to start with than Mr. Brumfield to make that right wrong. So whoever is willing to help, I have as my organization, whatever we could do as a 501c3, to aid and assist in that process, because my thing would be to rebuild Mr. Brumfield, beginning first with the man. Then let's deal with the house, because unfortunately what happened before, we went to a last resort first. Nobody dealt, most of the homeless people are have mental issues. And so we didn't deal with that with Mr. Brumfield.
Thank you, Mr.
So I
Lane.
think we need to look at housing and dealing with a better approach is how we handle our homeless in the city of Waukegan in that approach and process.
Mr. Garcia?
Ward meetings, please. We need ward meetings.
How much time we get?
3 minutes.
3? Please don't start yet. Okay. So I'd like to read a statement for you from a nurse at the VA hospital here in North Chicago. It's a certified, notarized letter. It says, I, Christopher Snyder, an LPN at the Captain James A. Level FHCC, witnessed nurse supervisor Joyce Wadlington and charge nurse Sue Vincent standing no further than 2 feet on the left side of patient John Garcia. That's me, by the way. While Officer Daniel Meyer sat on top of Garcia's chest, repeatedly striking Garcia about the head and face using his fists and elbows. After striking the patient several times, Officer Meyer grabbed a pillow from under Garcia's head and
placed the pillow over Garcia's face. Officer Meyer then continued striking the patient about the head and face. Officer Wainwright was standing in the hallway door until I observed him go to the bathroom of Garcia's room and forcefully remove another patient whom was standing behind the
Sir,
bathroom
could you take a
curtain.
time out here, please?
No, I don't want to take time.
No, to put you on hold for the time.
Sir, what's your issue here?
Well, I'm going
what's
to
the
get to
issue
that
here?
issue, but as soon as I finish reading
Does it
this-
involve the city of Waukegan, sir?
It certainly does. And even if it doesn't, this is an open meeting, sir.
Okay,
And I
go-
get my
go-
3 minutes. Please don't interrupt me again in the middle of me reading this.
Give
I'm
me-
not reading anything pornographic here, okay?
Okay, start again, sir.
Where are we at? Is it running? Where am I at now with the time?
When we said hold it, then it should come up again, sir. Go ahead.
What's going down?
Okay. Let me try and start where I was again here then. Officer Meyer then continued striking the patient about the head and face. Officer Wainwright was standing in the hallway door until I observed him go to the bathroom of Garcia's room and forcibly remove another patient whom was standing behind the bathroom curtain. The entire time, Garcia was lying on his back, hands at his side, both wrists and ankles secure in leather restraints. Joyce Wallington and Sue Vincent just stood there and watched the patient being assaulted by Officer Meyer without objecting nor intervening. So anyway, as you can imagine, me, I don't like corrupt police. I got a problem with corrupt cops. And I got a problem with the corrupt cops in the city of Waukegan. Because as a result of this nurse was retaliated against as a whistleblower. And so an investigation has been mandatorily done by the OSC in Washington, D.C. So anyway, to my point here, why I'm here today, because these people at the Disabled American Vets recommended an attorney in this town to take this claim to. And the first thing out of that attorney's mouth was, why in the hell did you wait 6 years to see an attorney? And so, as you can imagine, I didn't like his response. And so I told him, don't ever contact me again for any reason. And I thought he understood it clear. And yet I got a letter from this same attorney's office a few days ago. And so I brought the letter back to his office and told him again, don't ever contact me in any way, shape, or form, whether that's email, mail, a letter, or telephone, any way, shape, or form, because I've already made it clear to you. I thought you did. So I took the letter back. So anyway, they got a special favor done for them by calling the Waukegan Police Department and having Officer Jimenez
time
and
is up,
Officer
sir.
Baker come to my house
Mr. Garcia,
and tell me not
your
to
time is
contact
up.
them again.
Thank you,
So I'd
sir.
like a special favor done for me, because I got problems with people in North Chicago.
Thomas
I'd
Roulette.
like the Waukegan Police to go take care of people in several towns for me, just like they get their buddies and the attorney's offices around here to do special favors for them. See, I don't like corrupt cops. And I don't believe you when you say it's going to get better. Prove it. For the homeless people this guy was talking
Go on, Mr. Thomas.
Hey, how are you doing? Am I good now?
Hold on, let me start all over again. Wait. Okay.
Hello, my name is Thomas Roulette, and I'm currently a client at Pads Lake County. I would like to thank you, Mr. Mayor Wayne Motley, and Alderman for giving me this time and opportunity to speak. My goal for coming here today is not to slander or condemn anyone's actions or words, but to plead with all of you for a more peaceful and proactive resolution to not just the PADS situation, but the situation crisis Waukegan is facing with the homeless. I would also like the opportunity to help educate the council and the community on PADS and the homeless community. I agree that we all need to learn to better communicate to find a more peaceful and proactive solution to the problems in the city, potentially involving PADS clients and the homeless community. I don't know what all the complaints about PADS has been or what the specific details are in terms of any potential situation that may have occurred. But I'm here to tell and reassure everyone that they do an excellent job with us and definitely go above and far beyond what their job requirements are. In my opinion, PAD staff, as well as myself, want to find ways we can all mutually and beneficially coexist together in peace. So I ask this of everyone in here, that you will give this a chance to all work together and work some sort of system out that works for everyone. I ask this of you, the mayor and the aldermen, that you would be willing to meet with myself and potentially some of the PAD staff to come up with some creative ways we can better serve the community of Waukegan, PADS, and the homeless. I do not want any more strife and disunity to happen in this community, and I feel we should, as a city, take this opportunity to show the world that Waukegan is a progressive, proactive, and forward-thinking community. And I ask that everyone give peace a chance in this community, and you lift the suspension of PAD's business license to help prove to the world that Waukegan is finally headed in the right direction under yours and the other aldermen's leadership. I understand that many of you in the community may still be angry, but I know if we all work together, we can show the world how great and how diversified we are, and that in this city, we find actual solutions to the problems in the community, and we don't just sweep them under the rug and cover them up.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for letting me speak here today.
Clyde Michaelmore.
Good evening. Homeless Task Force, Citizen Advisory Committee. Every time the heat on the pot gets high, Mayor Motley sets up some board. The past situation is a controversy. I know some of the business owners on Grand Avenue that was complaining and stuff like that, but the way it was done wasn't right. I can speak on PADS. My wife used to be an employee of PADS. I've heard some of the stories of how they work with women and children there and stuff like that. I know the complaints because I be coming here to the city council meeting, and I know what the business owners are saying. So it's controversial. I'm gonna stay out of that, but I'm gonna say what happened with the mayor to come by PADS and then leave, and then send his henchmen over there and shut it down. That was some tricky stuff. That was way out. As long as Lake County's got the jail here, the county jail, and you got the county board here, homelessness go come here. It's in the city of Waukegan. We go have it. Ever since I first drove up in Waukegan 20 years ago, I remember PADS used to be on Shared on Genesee Street. It was the same thing down there. I mean, it was some trick stuff that went on there, you know, where you come through there. But you know, that's another thing that Mayor Motley, you do. You know, I'm always say Heil Hitler to you. Let's go back here on this $8 million approval for Peter Baker. You know, I'm from the city. I'm from Chicago. Now, here, this city getting ready to give, and Sam, I appreciate you, Alderman Cunningham, for speaking up about your ward, you know, because you got to vote on this, and you vote yes, and your streets don't get done, because Linden ain't been done in 20 years that I've been in Lake County, and I know it ain't been done, but you know why your ward didn't get it, because you didn't have enough votes. His numbers wasn't high enough when for Motley. That's why your streets was missed. But anyway, Peter Baker, how y'all gonna give him $8 million contract? And poverty is so high in Waukegan. People are without jobs and everything. And there's a Section 3 of the federal contract that at least one of your residents of Waukegan should get a job there. And don't say they ain't qualified, because Pastor Gas got this construction program and all these people that took all these tests and everything. But I mean, all they heard is ass. I didn't say it had to go with the bid, but it could be ass.
Thank you.
You know, it's just something to do,
Thank you,
know?
Mr. McLemore.
There's a lot of poverty here in Waukegan, and people are homeless,
Megan
people
Anders.
without jobs.
Megan Anders.
Good evening, City Council Board. My name is Megan Anders. I come here today on behalf of you to plead with you to understand that the problem does not go away if you just shut a building down and send people on the streets. There needs to be a continuum of care, just like with anything else in the, with social justice issues. Homelessness is no different. I come here today as a graduate of a criminal justice program, as well as a leader in the education world, as well as a foster parent in my community. And I plead with you that the homelessness problem is a complex and diverse issue. It needs, if you're going to create a task force, then I strongly, strongly suggest that it have members from each of the communities. A few aldermen, some people associated with homelessness as an issue, as well as possibly somebody from Lake County's correctional facilities, because the reality is if you don't address the issue, it shows up elsewhere. Your criminal justice populations will increase. You will have more kids in DCFS care because their parents can't provide them housing and a safe place to live. And if parents, moms or dads cannot provide their children with safe places to live, then ultimately they come through the system and they get hotlined in. And once a kid is taken away from their parent, that is definite trauma. That's trauma for them. I consoled a little boy this evening who will remain nameless to protect his privacy, who said, "I just want to go home." I said, I understand that. So if we start the continuum of services to address the problem, it starts with a task force that could possibly meet back and present to the board their interim findings monthly and keep you aware of issues. If the aldermen wanted to be on this board, they could. I would also suggest that there are community members. And the reality is homelessness is not going to go away if you just shut the PADS facility down. The PADS facility in DuPage County has done an amazing job for providing a continuum of services in order to connect people with other resources so that they can stay at the facility and then move on and make a better life for themselves.
Thank you, Ms. Anders.
Thank you for the consideration.
Stephanie Bynum.
Hi, and thank you for giving me a moment to speak here. I actually want to talk about something personal. My daughter, who's a middle school child, had a service project that she needed to do for an extracurricular program. And her and a group of other girls got together and looked at different places that they would want to maybe do a service project with. They found PADS homeless shelter. When they did, they met with the PADS staff there, and the PADS did such an amazing job educating these young 11 and 12-year-old girls on the causes of homelessness, the connections to services that they provide for their homeless clients. The focus, their sole focus, is to get clients off the streets in the best way that they can. These girls did their service project there, loved it so much that they brought us back as the parents to continue to do service projects at PADS. Every time that I've been at PADS doing a service project, we have had great interactions with the clients. I would be coming in carrying heavy objects. Somebody would open the door for me, say, "Can I help you?" That's my experience with PADS clients. The PADS staff has always been incredibly appreciative, very informative, and a need in this community. If you're going to start with making sure everybody's connected to services, please continue to start with PADS. Thank you.
Thank you. Ralph Peterson.
Hello, everyone.
I'd like to start out by apologizing. Last time I was here, I followed the mayor in the mud, and I apologize to all you citizens. You deserve better. There's no way vulgarness such as took place last time should be displayed on this floor. Now, secondly, I would like to speak on pads. Okay, first of all, a novice such as myself with very little understanding in that area have enough common sense to know in a situation such as pads, you phase that out. You don't come in with Gestapo moves just because you have power. You phase it out. It's as simple as saying, listen, we're going to have to do something for this. This is becoming a problem. We got my business owners complaining. Now I'm going to give you guys 30 days to blah, 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 or I'm going to take care of it. You don't just come in and drop the hammer down. By doing so, you rob the pastors. I know 15 to 20 pastors that would have gotten together and probably tried to come up with some kind of game play. You rob the Salvation Army. They may have even tried to do something. And really, Mayor, I question your ability to lead. And I'll tell you what prompts me to say this. On this council floor, you sit where you sit now and you praise the fallen, disgraced officer, Glenowitz. And YouTube tapes will show you called him all kind of good officers, great cop, etc., etc. On this council floor, you said former disgraced fallen state's attorney Michael Waller was a class act, a man of integrity, and you kept him in politics behind the citizens' back. To add even more insult to injury, Ted Nugent, the rock star, he said some filthy things about Obama and Mexicans, racist, filthy remarks. And you were like a little kid in a toy store about inviting him here to perform at the lakefront. Again, I question your ability to lead. And this latest display you put on, I won't repeat what you said because we have women and children in here, but the name calling me and you went through, and I'm pretty sure you've apologized to the citizens and the aldermen as I have, but if not, that's on you. But this causes me to question your ability to lead. I can't imagine a Brad Snyder, a Leon Rockingham, or Melinda Bush speaking in such a way and consider themselves leader. Again, I question your ability to lead, and personally, I feel you're several pay grades above your very own understanding, Officer Motley.
Margaret Carrasco. This is just my last update prior to the hearing this Friday at 9 o'clock here at City Hall, and I invite everyone to come down. I will make some comments in regards to based on the actual documents provided to me via my FOIL request dated March 29th. I noticed the following. On the business application for pads and also under license, which I have a copy of. Nowhere is it noted that it was to be a shelter of any form. Nowhere is it noted on the application or license that they were to dispense medication or drugs. Nowhere is it on the license or application that's supposed to be a mental health facility servicing the severely mentally retarded individuals. Why isn't PADS working with other agencies, referring all these individuals to other agencies? PADS does not have a license to be a daycare provider, nor is that place suited for children or serving food. PADS is not suited to be a catch-all, and that's what the current scenario I see, to shelter all the babies, young children that go in there, sexual offenders, drug addicts, mentally ill, all together in the same site. How can that be? PADS site is located exactly 6 inches from the property line of Waukegan Public Schools Whittier Elementary School, which is in direct violation with the Illinois State Code, which prohibits that sexual offenders or drug addicts to reside, work, or loiter within 500 feet of a place where children are congregated. Earlier in the meeting, I heard about the financials in the budget. PADS is a huge financial burden for the city of Waukegan, for the residents of Waukegan. I obtained a copy of PADS financials for the 2015. They have an operating budget, and this is via the copy that's on internet. According to the documents that I viewed, they have an operating budget of $2.3 million. But what's more appalling is that of that, 44% of that money is for administrative salaries, the business of homelessness. Therefore, I feel that there's plenty of monies available to pay for the services that are being incurred by the city of Waukegan and not being paid. Perhaps this is the same reason why the mayor of Chicago shut down 6 of the 7 sites in Chicago, and they were shut down in North Chicago also.
Thank you, Ms. Carrasco.
They're not a good neighbor. Thank you.
That's it?
Yep.
Alderman's time, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Newsome.
Thank you. For tonight, I would just like to offer my condolences to a family in my ward and a past employee of the city of Waukegan for 35 years, Sharon Barnes. Her mother passed away on Friday. So I would like to offer my condolences to Mr. Eugene Payne and his family. And my prayer is that God would grace them with everything that they need to make it through this difficult time right now. And that would be my comments this evening.
Alderman Tempest. Alderman May.
I'm going to pass.
Alderman Valco.
No comment this evening.
Alderman Taylor.
I'd just like to make a couple of short comments. Number one is we did pass the budget tonight, and things that I would like to see in the future is that we start to somewhere talk about setting money aside for roads in the budget as opposed to having to bond these things. We have come a long way in our finances, and that's something that I'd like to see us work towards in the future. The same thing with budgeting for equipment, such as fire trucks that are 30 years old. I'd like to have money set aside that we're starting to put there so that it doesn't always have to be bonded. Again, I understand we're a ways from that, but we need to work towards it. Second of all, it's springtime. Going through the drives on my ward, I see a lot of garbage. Some of this is not from the residents themselves. Some of it has blown in off of garbage trucks, and now it's just on the sides of the roads. I encourage communities, especially homeowners associations, to work together in cleaning these things up. Not everything is the responsibility of the city. We also need to work at cleaning our own residences up. When you put your garbage out on your weeknight, make sure that it doesn't go all over your neighbor's lawn or all over your lawn. Please take the time to clean it up. Everything that we do makes our city look better. Thank you.
Alderman Cunningham.
2 things. I want to echo the sentiments, condolences to the Payne family. Sharon, very personal relationship with her and her family, Fanita. I think Mr. Tempest, I think you probably should stop by there. They know you more than anyone else. Another condolence goes out to the Bell family, who Mrs. Bell has been a key person in our, and as a kid growing up. She passed on Friday. Last, I was given this picture of Larry Tempest back in the wrestling days by a former wrestler at Glenbrook North. Now, I will say these plaid pants, Larry, I thought the jacket was bad. You got to get a close-up now. It's Larry Tempest. Same. It's a bang. And then, but what I really like about it, they took a picture of the old wrestling uniforms for Waukegan. I was asked to give this to you on the council floor. Yes, he was a wrestler. His name is Chuck. And Chuck, I forget his last name, but he remembered you distinctly because you said to him, I guess back in the day, all the state champion wrestlers their names were on the mats. Is that correct? Well, you were telling this to the coach, I guess trying to put some fear in him. And he told you, well, we have state champion wrestlers on our match too, but they didn't have any state champions. But anyway, he wanted me to give this to you tonight, Larry. All right, pass it down. Those are my comments. Thank you.
Alderman Seeger.
No comment.
Alderman Moiseo.
Southern coach has always been a great dresser.
Alderman Villalobos.
Yeah, I got a couple of things. Hold on. I'm holding on something really quick, Larry. I want to look at this more. But there's a couple of things mentioned and make note of. So first of all, as Art had mentioned earlier about the trash cleanup, it was a wonderful day for that. As Alderman Taylor mentioned, trash, right? Trash is one of those little low-hanging fruits that we can take care of as residents. Oh, sorry. I'll come back to it. I want to look at it back. Sorry. So trash is one of those low-hanging fruits that we can really take care of easily. To me, the trash is one of those aesthetic things for the city. Anything that we own and want to keep nice, we take care of it, right? So the city is a similar situation. When you take ownership of your community you live in, you want to make it look nice. You want to keep it nice. People treat the community better. So I really got a sense of what the trash pickup did for Saturday when I stuck around downtown Waukegan and participated in the art walk. And I walked down the streets, and it just felt better seeing a clean street, not seeing trash in the underbrush, under benches, sit on the curbs. So little things like that make a big thing. So this trash pickup that we had in downtown Waukegan, me as the alderman for the 4th Ward, I want to expand this project beyond just the downtown area. I'm beginning dialogues with some business owners on Washington Street to do some trash pickups there, and eventually move it down Grand Avenue to our business sectors, both on Washington and Grand. And then within the ward itself, alleyways and the ravine, which is a big thing too. I just got a call recently this past week from a resident at Lilac Ledge. Her balcony overlooks the ravine, and she's just telling me all the terrible things that are in there. Mattresses, all sorts of random, just odd and end trash there. So it's a big issue. It's a big deal for our community, trash. So we'll keep plugging away at that. Also, about 2 weeks ago almost, or last week, I went to this little event. It's a monthly program called Green Drinks. It's out in Libertyville. This is kind of sponsored, I believe, by Lake Forest Open Lands. And they do just monthly dialogues about environmental issues. As some of you know, the environment's one of my concerns, one of my big things that I work with and try to work around with. So they talked about a brewery, the Goose Island Brewery. Brewer was talking about how to do sustainability efforts in the brewery industry. For those who don't know, Waukegan has a brewery. And I'm going to try to connect the owner, Larry Bloom, with the brewers at Goose Island to try to do sustainability efforts in our Waukegan brewery. Coming up, I am also doing another environmental effort thing in Springfield. This Thursday's Lobby Day. So I'm taking a bus with some of my fellow Waukeganites and fellow Lake County residents to go down to Springfield and talk to our elected officials there at the state level about how to keep Waukegan on their radar for clean energy projects. And last, I'll be there for the Clean the Amstuds on Sunday. I'm not picking up trash is something I do now. You know, even before I got into office, it's just something I do because it's just something I don't like seeing, trash, you know. Scoop it up, and there's always a trash can nearby. Or throw it in your pocket even, I don't know, I do it too, so. Yeah, I'm just trying to get less trash in this society here. And that's all I have. All right, thank you.
That's it.
Edgewater's back in the city of Waukegan doing some more work on our lakefront. They're here on a grant. As part of that grant, I asked them to incorporate the NRG property. It's never been incorporated in our lakefront redevelopment plan. I asked Edgewater to include them, so they will be looking at lakefront development along the harbor, along the shore of NRG property. Also, I just got a text from the attorney for PADS. The scheduled meeting will be May 26th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It'll be held here. And Mr. Williams, my commitment to you is that I will work with you diligently to get this matter resolved before that date. And that being said, motion adjourned by Alderman Moiseo, second by Alderman Taylor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
The City of Waukegan is replacing about 20,000 water meters with a new automated meter, which provide for an accurate, timely, and reliable reading without having to gain access to customers' properties. The new meters, which will be replaced at no cost to the customers, will be able to identify high water usage and potential leaks. In addition, customers will be able to access their water usage and account information conveniently online. The first thing you need to do is schedule an appointment with Professional Meters, Inc. to have your old meter replaced with a new automated meter reader, AMR for short. Look for a postcard in the mail with the call information or call 866-270-9629. PMI will arrive at your scheduled time to install your meter. They will arrive on a truck or a van with a PMI logo. The PMI installer will have on a shirt or a jacket with a PMI logo and will carry a PMI ID badge. Installers will also wear booties over their work boots to ensure they do not carry dirt, mud, or water into your home or business. The installation process should take less than 30 minutes. The installer will take a photo of the old meter to obtain a record of your final meter reading and the condition of the pipes and fittings. The next step is to turn off your shut-off valves located on your water meter line near the meter. Remove the old meter and install the new AMR meter. The transmitter, which transmits your water usage data to the city, will be placed on a convenient location near the meter. The installer will take a photo of the new meter once it's installed. And that's it. The PMI installer will make sure everything is cleaned up, collect his tools, and head on to the next installation. You may receive a follow-up visit from a PMI manager to ensure your satisfaction with the installation and to make a quality control check of the meter installation. For more information about the automated meter reading installation program, please visit www.waukeganil.gov. If you have any questions regarding the meter installation, contact PMI at 866-270-9629 or the City of Waukegan City Collector at 847-599-2997.